This is disrespectful as Colin Cowherd calls out this Celtics team, calling them the 2021 Buffalo Bulls, ultimately insinuating that this team is going to choke, and makes fun of Jayson Tatum for his lackluster second half performance last night. We're going to be breaking down all of that, diving into what Colin Cowherd had to say. Plus, we'll be diving in, exploring the kind of late game mishaps between Joe Mazzulla and a key stat that shows the Celtics are not just a viable three-point shooting team. All of that and more on this episode of Celtics Digest. I'm Bruce Veliz. Without further ado, let's get ready. Let's dive in as this is going to be a jam-packed episode. Make sure to grab a snack, and without further ado, let's get into these topics. The first topic that we're going to be diving in and exploring is the Boston Celtics being effective on the offensive side of the ball by just not shooting three-pointers. If you guys know, the Celtics are the best three-point shooting team this season. They highly use that three-point ball. Jrue Holiday is the best corner three-point shooter in the entire NBA, making 2/3 of his corner threes. Payton Pritchard's excelling. Derrick White's improved. We've also obviously seen Jayson Tatum, Kristaps, Porzingis, even Jaylen Brown get disrespected from his three-point shots and proving everybody wrong. So as everybody knows, the Celtics are a main three-point shooting team, but not just that want as to qualify. We want to look at this tweet from NBA University. We can see the most efficient post-ups in the NBA. Kristaps Porzingis, number one, leading the Boston Celtics. But if you want to look at that list, you can see two other Celtics from that starting five in the most efficient post-ups in the entire league. Jayson Tatum at 5th and Jaylen Brown at 9th, which is just absolutely crazy to see. The Celtics are 3 times more using the post game compared to last season. They're number 2 in effectiveness, number 1 in efficiency and scoring in the post, and it's clearly showing with this squad and with the additions of Kristaps Porzingis. Obviously, he's a great versatile big, being able to stretch out to that three-point line, but him being able to be used in the post, but also using Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum in that post is an effective way for the Celtics to nature some points and get that scoreboard up. It's not like they just focus on those threes like the media wants to portray. They can attack the rim, and we've seen that with that nice duo of Kristaps Porzingis and Jayson Tatum, or even Kristaps Porzingis and Jaylen Brown. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. We're also going to be exploring some late game mishaps relating to the Boston Celtics. Remember, last night the Celtics unfortunately suffered a 20-point lead loss to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Dean Wade absolutely torched the Boston Celtics in the fourth quarter. You can say they left him open, you can say they guarded him. On some possessions they did guard him, but it did look like the Celtics played a little bit more lazy and lackadaisical defense in the third and fourth quarter. That tempo wasn't there, and the Cleveland Cavaliers were easily bringing that momentum. But we want to talk a little bit about Joe Mazzulla, because a lot of fans were very furious that Joe Mazzulla did not call a timeout. But if we want to look at this tweet from Jared Weiss, we can see from the Celtics Reddit that Mazzulla did indeed try to get some timeouts before the Celtics possession. Mazzulla said he tried to call a timeout with over 4 seconds left, but it did not happen. We want to look at this tweet again. Jared Weiss providing some great NBA content covering the Celtics for The Athletic, but he was replying to someone saying, "Why do we have a coach if he refuses to call timeouts and draw blank up?" Now, obviously, I'm not going to swear, but a lot of Celtics fans were very, very frustrated on Twitter last night. I want to know what you guys thought about your late game reactions. Obviously, the officiating was very, very wanky versus that Cleveland Cavaliers team. We saw a bunch of times where the Celtics should have gotten calls that they definitely deserved, but they did not get. And we also saw with Joe Mazzulla trying to call a timeout with 4 seconds left. I believe I even saw him with 2 seconds left trying to call a timeout before Jayson Tatum even got the shot off. But obviously, after that weird last play with 0.7 seconds remaining, it was just a weird finish. Not the way the Celtics wanted to end that game, especially not a way that this team wants to finish games, because they were on that 11-game win streak, trying to make it 12. No Donovan Mitchell. It was a devastating loss after having a 20-point lead. Like I mentioned, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Unfortunately, Celtics fell short, but it's A-okay. They will bounce back and be ready to go for their next matchup versus the Denver Nuggets. If you guys have not checked out, we do post-game live streams, and I know that game versus Denver is at 10 p.m. tomorrow night, East Coast Standard Time, but we will be live around 12:30, 1 in the morning. If you guys are awake, if you guys want to make sure you stay tapped into those post-game streams. We give our reactions. We want to hear your reactions as well. Let us know and come join us in those streams. Last night's was fantastic. Even though the Boston Celtics did lose, we had some great contributions from a bunch of Celtics fans giving their thoughts and opinions. And if that's something that you want to do and want to help out, you can join the live streams on Celtics Digest. Make sure to check those post games. Without further ado, let's dive into this last topic here at hand today, which talks about, Colin Clownin Cowherd speaks on the Boston Celtics. Pulled up the wrong chapter right there, but yes, Clownin Cowherd, as I want to call him. Not Colin, we're going to call him Clownin because he is a absolute clown for debating this. My personal opinion, not a biggest fan of Colin Cowherd. I know he's on this radio show just to give his thoughts and his takes, but in my personal opinion, I think some of his takes are absolutely outrageous, and we're going to be breaking down two of those takes on the Boston Celtics. We want to look at this first tweet. This is from just a couple of days ago. I believe this was on Monday, where he said they are becoming the Buffalo Bills. We've seen this before, saying why he isn't sold on this Celtics squad. This was right after the Celtics got their third win by 50 points this season, right after they throttled the Golden State Warriors. Maybe Colin, a little bit of that Golden State fever, a little bit disappointed his boy Steph Curry could not do any damage to this Boston Celtics team. But in my honest opinion, this is absolutely ridiculous to say, because in our honest opinion, as we can see, the Celtics are a top team in the offensive and defensive rating. One of the teams that is only, I believe there's only two teams in the entire NBA that are top 10 in both of those. The Celtics are a part of that group. They are top 5 in offense and defense, top 1 in net rating, best record in the NBA, and have a 8-game lead over second place in the Eastern Conference. Their gap between first and second is bigger than the Western Conference gap from 1 to 8, and it clearly shows that the Celtics in this regular season have been proving that they are the dominant team. Yes, they unfortunately suffered a loss last night versus the Cleveland Cavaliers, but that's going to happen. This team's not perfect. They're not a well-oiled machine. They're not a robot. They're not going to be able to win every single game. And comparing them to the 2021 Buffalo Bills is just absolutely insane. That team choked in the playoffs, and I don't see this Celtics team performing that at all. If anyone is the 2021 Buffalo Bills, it's last year's Milwaukee Bucks team. After losing Giannis Antetokounmpo, they were the team that started off that Miami miracle for them to make it to the finals as an 8 seed. So in reality, I think that this is a bogus take. The Celtics are going to prove everybody wrong heading into that playoffs with the versatility of Kristaps, Porzingis, Jayson, Tatum, and Jaylen Brown. I truly think that this Celtics squad is a dominant X factor, and they're going to be making at least an Eastern Conference Finals appearance, if not a Finals appearance. And this is just absolutely ridiculous to say. And next, we're going to be diving in, looking at his other take, where he says, you think Michael Jordan settles for that? LeBron settles for that? Talking about Jayson Tatum's game-winning shot attempt in the loss to Cleveland. Now I know Jayson Tatum came out on fire, looked like a MVP candidate, putting up those fantastic first half stats for this Boston Celtics team. If you want to look at those second half stats, they were absolutely atrocious, missing a bunch of field goals and not being clutch for this Celtics team. Now, in the regular season, the Celtics have had 27 games where it's gone down to the wire in the clutch, and the Celtics are 18-9 in those games, winning 2/3 of those matchups. Therefore, I'm still sold on the Celtics teams. I still think that they can win games in the clutch. We've seen them win games in the clutch versus the Knicks, versus Milwaukee, versus Miami, multiple times this year. So losing one game to Cleveland in the clutch isn't going to rip my heart out. And yeah, Jayson Tatum should have passed that ball. Kristaps Porzingis was wide open down low. But you know, the Celtics were playing hero ball late at the end of the game, and they were going for those individual ways to win that game, and that's why the Celtics had those issues. We saw that last year a little bit with this team, and it seemed to go into the late fourth quarter where the Celtics wanted to desperately win that game, definitely playing some team ball and looking for some better ball movement like they did versus the Golden State Warriors. I truly think would have put the Celtics over the top, and finding Kristaps Porzingis down low to secure that win would have been absolutely fantastic. But unfortunately, like we mentioned, the Celtics get a loss. It's in the past. We ripped that Band-Aid off. We're not going to worry about it, and we're going to get ready to go for this game on Thursday night as we gear up to take on the defending NBA champs in the Denver Nuggets, and hopefully we can get revenge versus them as they beat us on our home court, giving us our first home court loss. We want to be able to repay the favor and dominate them on their home court. Like I mentioned, If you guys enjoy these videos, enjoy this type of content, make sure to check out the other linked videos here at the top. And if you guys enjoy stuff like this, make sure to check out the live stream. We'll have a post-game live breaking down that Denver Nuggets and Boston Celtics game. It will be a late one, but if you guys are entertained and want to tune into that, make sure you guys stay tuned. But like I said, thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode where we broke down the Celtics excelling, scoring not just as a three-pointer, Joe Mazzulla trying to get a timeout, and talking about how Clownin Cowherd disrespected the Boston Celtics. Like I said, let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. I always appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.